Today I'm answering some of the most common questions that come up on my page about kidney disease and diet. Stay tuned, these are fabulous questions. Thanks so much for watching today. If you don't know me, my name is Dr. Blake Schusterman. I'm a board certified kidney doctor and I'm also the cooking doc, and this is a thank you for watching. Really, I get great questions every week. I can't answer them all, but I have a catalog and I'm going to answer some of them today. I'm also thinking about doing a live Q&A because sometimes I love the interaction live. I can answer the questions like this, but a live interaction is so much more fun. So planning that for the future. Like this video, give me the questions that you got, and maybe that'll give me a few to start with when we do the live Q&A sometime in the next few months. Remember, everything we talk about on here, this is not medical advice. This is just for information. I'm trying to give you information. I'm not trying to treat your specific disease. And if you want to know more, so you know when this live event is going to happen in the future, go over to my website, cookingdoc.com, and sign up for my newsletter. I'll make sure we notify you through that. Okay, let's get to these questions. Question number 1. I have a question about water intake. I don't have kidney disease, but I've had kidney stones and was encouraged to drink as much as 3 liters of water a day. Is it important to drink more water with kidney stones versus kidney disease? That's a great question, and the answer is absolutely yes. Preventing kidney stones requires you to stay hydrated. The more you drink, the less likely those kidney stones are to form in a lot of cases. So keeping your water intake above 3 liters is really important for kidney stone prevention. Whether it's water or water with a little bit of lemon or something called moonstone, which is a special drink just for kidney stones. Keeping yourself hydrated is a priority of people who have kidney stones. On the other hand, kidney disease is much different. They've done studies looking at people with chronic kidney disease, and it does not show that drinking extra water helps slow that kidney function from getting worse or makes a difference in your overall outcome. It does make you pee a lot though. So if you're drinking water for kidney stone protection, you're going to pee a lot and hopefully keep those kidney stones away. If you're drinking water for chronic kidney disease or other kidney protection, you're probably just going to pee a lot. Now there are some caveats there, right? So if you're outside working, make sure you're staying hydrated. If you're exercising, you want to make sure you're drinking extra water. If you're elderly, you may not have that same thirst mechanism, so you want to drink a couple extra glasses of water a day or make sure you're at least getting in a few glasses of water. But for most people, drink when you're thirsty, drink mostly water, stay away from the sugar sweetened drinks, and that's enough to keep you hydrated and protect your kidneys. Next question. I'm not always motivated to drink water, but I do drink 4 to 5 cups of black and green tea, unsweetened, a day. Does that count? The good news is that drinking tea most of the time does count as keeping you hydrated. Now I would love you to add a couple glasses of water in there each day, but the liquid in that tea certainly is going to help count to keep you hydrated. Now if that tea is really strong with a lot of caffeine, it can actually work as a diuretic, meaning it does make you pee a little bit extra if you're really high on that caffeine scale and really concentrated tea. But for the most part, drinking tea will keep you hydrated. But just to be safe, add a couple glasses of water in there just to make sure. And I'm so glad you're drinking unsweetened rather than the sweetened version. Next question, can you talk about red meat? I read it's really bad for the kidneys. Is red meat off the table completely? Is there something that's in the red meat, or is it just because meat is high in protein? But so is chicken. And what's the diff, I wonder? Thank you. I'll tell you that's a fabulous question. So in general, the proteins are very similar. The animal proteins have a tendency to make the kidneys work a little bit harder to get rid of the proteins that are in that food that you eat. So you eat the animal proteins, you digest them, it goes in the blood through the kidneys, and the kidneys process those waste products and get rid of them. And it does seem to be that animal proteins put a little more stress on the kidneys than plant-based proteins. And in that sense, yes, chicken, red meat, pork, it's all going to impact the kidneys in a certain way because the kidneys are going to have to process that extra animal protein. Now in general, red meat tends to have extra fat. So that extra fat is going to cause problems in the body that may not be related to the kidneys, but certainly aren't good for your health. And there are lots of studies over the year that show eating more red meat is associated with more disease down the line, heart disease, elevated cholesterol, that sort of thing. Now, whether or not there's a specific difference between the proteins in the red meat and the proteins in the chicken that have a different impact on the kidneys, well, that is a fabulous question, and I am not afraid to say that I don't know the answer. But I will look into it, and if we find an answer, I'll make sure I post it here and let you know. Next question, and this is related to blood pressure. I'm sure you've heard this question before in your career, but why do the readings in both arms differ? For example, the right arm gives you a reading within the parameters, and the left arm will show it higher. A lot of people have a difference in blood pressure between each arm, and that can be normal. So in a study I read, up to 50% of the people that they took blood pressures on had a little bit of difference in the blood pressure between each arm. So maybe left arm was 120 over 80, right arm maybe 129 over 85. So small differences between those arms can be kind of a normal variation. Now, where we do get concerned is where there's a large and persistent difference in the blood pressure between each arm. So say you take the blood pressure in the left arm and it's 120 over 80, and you take the blood pressure in the right arm and it's 180 over 90. And it's not just one time, it's multiple times where you get that difference. And that's why a doctor will often check blood pressure in each arm when evaluating somebody for a diagnosis of high blood pressure or hypertension. Now, if there's a large difference like that and it's persistent, there are other medical problems that can cause it, and that should be evaluated early on so that a diagnosis is not missed. Next question, what about regular coffee or tea before taking the blood pressure? Is there a time limit before taking the reading that I should stop having coffee? Well, coffee, especially if concentrated, like one of those Starbucks coffees, can definitely create an increase in blood pressure. Now, that increase typically lasts between 30 minutes where it peaks and comes down about an hour or two later. But some people, that impact lasts even longer, 2 to 4 hours. So if it's possible to check your blood pressure before having your coffee, if your mind works before having your coffee in the morning, then that's great. Or later on in the day when that coffee effect wears off. Next question, can a CT scan show polycystic kidney disease? Now, polycystic kidney disease is something that we really haven't talked about a lot on this show, and I really should talk about it more. I've been thinking about doing a whole video on polycystic kidney disease, and this may just be the inspiration that I need. The answer to this question is yes. Any kind of imaging of the kidneys will show whether or not you have cysts and can help diagnose polycystic kidney disease. So, kidney ultrasound, kidney CAT scan, kidney MRI, all those things can help diagnose polycystic kidney disease, which is the #1 genetic cause of kidney disease. Okay, next question. Hello, I had my kidney transplant surgery on July 15th of this year, and my creatinine now is 1. That's great. Is that normal? So it can be normal. That's a very good reading, although this is not specifically medical advice, this is just in general. And my GFR is 48. So what can I do to make both get better? First of all, congratulations on your kidney transplant. As a kidney doctor, really, it's one of the happiest days of my profession when somebody that I'm caring for gets a kidney transplant. Now, you asked a question about making that number better, both the creatinine and the GFR. And if you haven't seen this video yet, go watch it. This is about whether or not there are things to do to improve your GFR or the creatinine. The bottom line is that there's no miracle cure or drug or magic thing that we can do to make those numbers better. And those numbers will vary from time to time when they're checked. But there are lots of things that you can do to protect that kidney, from eating right, to exercising, to taking your medicines, to following up with your doctors. There are just so many things that you can do to protect that kidney. And I don't want you to worry about making those numbers specifically better. I just want you to worry about doing everything that you can to protect that precious gift that you were given. Okay, fabulous questions. Thank you all so much for commenting and asking them. I hope you give me some more. Let's do this again. Let's do a live version. Go to my website, cookingdoc.com, and make sure you sign up for my newsletter so you get the first warning about when we're going to do this live event. We'll probably do it on YouTube and also on Instagram. Check out my book, Cooking Doc's Kidney Healthy Cooking, a Modern 10-Step Guide to Preventing and Managing Kidney Disease. I'm Dr. Blake Schusterman, and I will see you next time.